Good evening, and welcome to the Black Dragon Tavern, a very special episode. I'm your host, Dante,
I'm your host, Deacon.
and I'm kind of joking about the very special episode, but we're glad you could be here tonight. It is special because I'm feeling a little special this week. I totally forgot to prep, and that's kind of the theme of the show. But
Yeah.
we'll come back around to that before we get started. Thanks everybody for being here. Just want to give some shout outs for everybody who watched last week. We uploaded the YouTube vids. We did episode 8 last week. That means we're on episode 9.
It's hard
Tomorrow
to
will
believe.
be episode 10. That's exciting. So
Yeah.
first 10 in the can tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
But the recap of last week was pretty cool. We did the whole 2 hour stream playing Diablo 3. And we did have a little technical glitch where I don't know if we blew the network out with too much
I think we did.
bandwidth, sucking down too much
Well,
bandwidth.
not only
or-
that, but it could have been the storm. We have been having pretty nasty storms around here lately.
This
So
is true. Like tree knocking down, power
Yeah,
outage, like giant lightning,
Tornado warnings.
thunder, and tornado warning storms. So that could have been it. But we recovered pretty quickly, got back up online. The downside is, as every time we lose a connection on a stream like this, the VOD, the video on demand, splits into two different recordings. So if you didn't watch last week's video, go check it out. Either the first half or the second half, either one is fine. We had fun playing it. I
Yeah.
totally did. I'd give it
Oh,
11, 11 out of 10. I'd do it again. I totally loved it.
we'll
So
have to do more game streams then.
absolutely, maybe we could do something tomorrow.
Yeah.
We don't really have any games planned for tomorrow for the Battle Zone
I have
segment.
a couple games that I think would be fun to play. Video
Okay.
games.
All right,
Got
well-
kind of queued up to try and coerce you into playing on stream.
Yeah, all right. We'll talk about that. So you can check that out on YouTube. If you go to our About page here on Twitch, we've got a link to the YouTube channel. Once again, for those of you new just joining the stream, we don't have our vanity URL for YouTube yet. We need 100 followers for that. So in the meantime, it's just a bunch of gobbledygook. But we do post the links up there, and we post the link on our Facebook page as well. While you're there on the Facebook page, if you're checking that out, be sure to like the page, give us a shout. Check us out on Instagram at Black Dragon Tavern Online. So Instagram.com/Black Dragon Tavern Online. So this week was the lost week. I had my shit together last week. I was so excited. I'm like, hey, it's early. I finished work early because I get out at noon on Fridays now. I got the whole weekend to plan. I had some great ideas. I had a ton of bookmarks open up in on my phone, and like you did, I lost them all. Managed to recover them. Okay, still doing okay. I'm ahead of the game. I got my journal. I got my notebook. I'm ready to jot down some notes for the show. Bam! The whole week goes by.
Yeah. It was it's been a weird week. On Wednesday it felt like, I don't know why, but Wednesday was just one of those days. It felt like it was the end of the week already, like a whole week had gone by between those 2 days. And then all of a sudden I blinked and it's Friday and we're about to stream. I
Yeah.
think we both forgot about it.
Yeah, I noticed because I remember when I asked you. So yeah, we're streaming this tonight, and you're like, yes, we are. So I knew you blanked out on that too. And what kicked this whole thing? Well, it's kind of cool though, because like the whole theme, the title of the stream tonight, I called it "Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless." Wait, what was I doing? And if you haven't seen the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, check it out. It's not a happy movie. I'll just tell you that. But essentially, it's Jim Carrey, and he goes to this really shady like brain clinic to have a memory erased. He has painful memory in his life that he wants removed, so he can just go on with his life. And I saw this article earlier in Gizmodo, my favorite place to go for everything these days, basically that isn't politics. But it was raising the question of, will we ever be able to edit or delete our memories? And I saw that, like I said, late last week, as I was going to get a start on the show prep, and I did a gander at it real quick, gloss over, and I said, yeah, I want to come back to this and I want to investigate it and kind of talk about that because I think it's kind of cool. It's ironic because in my case, I need a memory boost. Like they could just stick a stick in my brain like Johnny Mnemonic or something, you know.
Kind of like Assassin's Creed style, be able to like edit them, go back and live
Yeah.
through old memories. That would
Yeah.
be cool.
Well, so the whole point of this article was how we've advanced to the point in neuroscience where they're focusing bundles of nerves that specifically trigger and codify thoughts and dreams and store them for long term. And what they've done is they can find the brain activity when you're having a dream or you're having a memory, specifically a memory. Um, and they can target that bundle of nerves and they can effectively wipe them out. Like
That's
I don't
kind
know
of
if they
scary.
I don't know if they're actually killing the nerves or they're just killing the process or disrupting the process. But they've done this on lab mice, and of course humans are a lot more complex than lab mice. At least some of them are, anyway.
I wonder how they'd be able
Um,
to track that though. Like, do how do you know a mouse's memories? And how do you like track like yeah we deleted that memory that it had?
Well, you could. The way they explain it, and part of the article is through repetitive tasks. Like a mouse would forget what it learned how to do. They would set it up in a
Oh,
controlled
okay.
environment, and they'd have it perform a certain task, and then they would do this thing, and then the mouse would seemingly forget how to perform that task,
Okay, that makes sense.
and it would be really confused and not know what to do. So again, that's sort of at the at the really focused level, and not on a human level at all, because the process is much more complex. But what I thought was interesting is the application of it that they were talking about doing. Like they could use it for people who are victims of PTSD or trauma, like traumatic events, violent events, or what have you. And they could, hopefully in future go in and remove the triggering things. Like they gave a really good example. Like let's say you were delivering mail to a post office box, right, or a box on the street, and you got assaulted. So now every time you see that post box, you get triggered because you associate it with the attack, and you become terrified of like going to take your mail to the box. So they think that they can effectively like reprogram you to not be affected by that that symbol or that object that triggers the memory.
See,
So
that's cool, but that's also like kind of scary in a way.
it is. You hit the nail right on the head. There are some ethical and moral arguments that come up, and that's what a lot of these scientists were saying is just because we can do it, and I'm paraphrasing, should we doesn't
Oh,
mean
it's
we
like Jeff
does
Goldblum
just
said.
because we can doesn't mean we should.
Yeah.
Effectively, I almost had that backwards, but so that's going to be the big thing is is this something we want to delve into,
And
or is
then
this
that
just a dangerous
opens,
precedent
yeah,
to set?
that opens the door then because the whole thing with like a Neuralink, is that what it's called? Um, Elon Musk's thing.
Mm-hmm.
That opens the door for like, what about Neuralink? Will that have the ability to like overwrite memories? Is that going to be like putting something on an SD card and overwriting old files? How does it work? How? Because I didn't read that article, so I'm not sure how the process works. But when we get to a point when things like Neuralink become something that you can get, even if it's only something that like the really really rich can get, but once it's something that's like out of its testing phase and an actual thing that works and that you can get, how is that going to impact that?
That's an excellent
Like,
question. And I guess a lot of that has to do with like the capabilities of the human brain, which we still,
don't
we've
really
not
know.
mastered the capabilities yet. We've not mapped the entire thing out. We don't understand it 100%. Like we can, you can say this computer has like, 1 terabyte of storage on it. How much storage does the brain really have? You
Well,
know, so
that's the thing. We don't know how much you can store in your brain, but these people did do the research on how much storage you would need to upload a human brain onto a computer, and it's a bit. It's quite a bit. It was something along the lines of I actually need to pull up the converter because I don't remember uh, how to convert this.
was it like more than a Brazilian?
It was a lot more than a Brazilian. It was just about 28,000 terabytes.
Hey, it's Chris. How's it going,
Hey,
Chris?
Chris.
It says every time you recall a memory, it gets edited by current. Yes, and they actually mentioned that in the article too, Chris. So they call it when you store memory, they call it consolidation. Your brain consolidates what it believes to be the details or the facts of that memory. But there are those who believe that your memories get reconsolidated. So as you recall them, as you pull them back up, it sort of shifts. He says sup. It shifts like your perspective on that memory and your recall, and then it reconsolidates that memory. So that's another thing that they were saying. Like, they don't really know how it would affect memory per se. If they wouldn't know if the memory was wiped out or forgotten as a result of the therapy or as a result of reconsolidating it and natural processes. So it was really really interesting. um, but again, like with me, it's not so much worrying about like deleting memories as it is like recalling them. you know it's like, did I remember to get the gallon of milk that I was asked to get?
Yeah.
So again, though, the whole Johnny Mnemonic thing brings up a really good question, because if you have a wet wired implant of some sort that can either boost your memory, enhance your memory, or program implant memories, yeah, at some point it's got to screw around with the rest of your neural network.
Yeah. Um. So I'm not sure if you caught what I was saying earlier, but this guy, he has a YouTube channel, full team of scientists that work behind it, and he did the math on how much space would it. Yeah. You can. He did the math on how much space would it take if you were to somehow figure out how to upload a human brain to a computer, and it was somewhere around the 28,000 terabyte mark.
Yeah. Well,
For
I mean,
one brain.
what's after terabyte? Petabyte? Petabyte?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 28 of those,
Yeah.
but I think
Jeez.
more people might know what a terabyte is than a petabyte.
Yeah.
But
Right, because it's not that. Yeah.
28,000 terabytes for like per brain.
That's a good point about leading questions too.
Yeah.
And
those
there's another thing
aliens
you've heard of the Mandela effect.
Yeah, where you
So-
remember something like differently.
You
than
think you remember it,
Yeah.
but do you really remember it? Like,
what's the
didn't the theme from the Addams Family used to have this other note in it? Or didn't the box of cereal or Fruit Loops used to be spelled this way?
FRIUIT.
Yeah, instead of FROOT.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the one I was trying to think of.
So, we have a friend. Your mom and I have a friend who's really into that, and we're not quite sure if she's trolling people or if she really believes a lot of the stuff she posts. Like, she'll say, "Didn't they used to?" And then she'll pose the question. And it's like, okay, wait, are you trolling people and trying to affect the Mandela effect on them, or? But anyway, yeah. So that was the question: will we ever be able to edit, or delete our memories?
Yeah.
And that's in Gizmodo, by the way. And I'll post the link up online a little bit later on. We'll put it on the Facebook page. Because guess what? We still haven't finished the Discord server yet.
We kind of forgot to do that along with the rest of the stuff
we
this
didn't
week.
forget to do it. We were working on it, and then we got pulled away by other stuff. Real life happened.
Diablo.
So yeah, Diablo. Anyway, maybe we should do that this weekend and just bite the bullet and do that.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good thing to do, I guess.
Yeah, I've got a ton of stuff I want to put up there, and like I know not everybody's using Facebook, so some people might be able to want to jump on Discord or whatnot. But it tied into the whole thing, speaking of memory and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So that's again, not a happy movie. I don't know. I mean, you can watch it. Like, I wouldn't recommend like go watch it, because it's, if you got time to kill, watch it. But
yeah. On the topic of implants though, and like cybernetic stuff, I was talking with some friends the other day, and we were trying to figure out what would be the best or what would be the coolest implant that you could think of getting. Like any kind of cybernetic. Doesn't matter if you're changing something or like just replacing a limb or whatever. What would be the best or the coolest implant that you think you would get?
Boy, I don't know. An arc reactor to keep your heart going forever. In my case, that'd be the first one I'd go for, is something to keep my ticker going, because that's going to probably be the first thing that goes on me.
I pretty much already got that.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
I don't know. I was going between like eyes or fingers, because either of those would be kind of cool. Like eyes and or fingers for painting would be great, because I could do like super minute like brush control. I could do like the craziest highlights that anybody's seen, or I could have like perfect eyesight and just be able to like instantly detect colors from looking at them and just be able to figure out like what colors to put on things to make them look great. That would be kind of cool.
Interesting.
But I think I would lean more towards like fingers, because there's so much more you could do with that. If you're typing, you could type like 200 words a minute. If you get like if they like split open, you've got like 10 on each hand.
Oh jeez.
Or you could do like any instrument you would practically be able to play, like guitar, bass, flute, saxophone, whatever, man. He could play it.
Yeah.
Because that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess, like, if I were, all things being equal, if I had my choice of, like, a cybernetic implant, it would probably be something like the Neo in the Matrix, the ability to upload a program. Whoa,
Yeah.
I know Kung Fu. You know, I mean, like, how freaking awesome would that be? Like,
That would be pretty awesome.
download, you know, French, download German, download whatever, and let's say you're like, you know, I speak French, I speak German,
Yeah.
you know, that would be really cool. I think that would be something that has the capability of enhancing people's lives beyond description, because
Yeah.
you could learn different skills that you would never have otherwise been able to master unless you had a lifetime to do it, you know, or you had dedicated yourself to that. But you'd have the rapidity with which you could learn a skill would be unprecedented, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But would that be a bad thing? Because then everybody would be sort of like, oh, I know Kung Fu too, or I know, you know.
Yeah.
So mine was very, I think, very, I don't know if I want to say
Just make
selfish.
It
was
just
like
make it all paid DLC.
all
Look,
paid
you-
DLC, yeah.
Look, you
yeah.
can download an instant mastery of Kung Fu, but you gotta subscribe to EA Plus.
Oh, no, thanks. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye. But like I said, mine was more in self-interest and self-preservation. I went right for the ticker, you know, like arc reactor. I didn't have
Oh,
to
yeah.
think about that because
Yeah.
I know that's what the biggest that's what weighs on my mind the most. But I guess it really depends, like,
Mantis arms from Cyberpunk with the blades that pop out of your forearm. Oh, it'd
yeah.
make julienning things for food so much easier. You
But
just
see,
go-
like, you know, like implants for longevity are almost like a fool's errand because something's going to give out, like a liver, your brain, whatever, your lungs, your
Yeah.
heart, something's going to give out eventually. Like you could say, I want something that's going to keep my heart ticking forever. Okay, well that's great. Now your brain's dead, you know, or your kidneys are shot.
yeah.
And of course, by that point though, if they had that type of technology, you could just get cybernetic, you
Yeah, just
know,
get new kidneys.
yeah,
Hell, you can do that
biofilters.
anyways now. You just gotta know what site to go to.
what site to go to? Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have a bathtub ready.
Yeah.
Operators are standing by.
Um,
See what I did there?
yeah.
Dad jokes for the win. So, oh my goodness. Oh, I just know, yeah. Like, I was thinking of that scene in Cyberpunk 2077,
Yeah.
the bathtub scene.
Oh, like right in the opening mission, yeah.
Yeah, right in, that's
Yeah.
right. It's right in the beginning of it, yeah.
What about you guys? All you out in chat, what do you guys think would be your number one implant that you would want?
That's a good question.
I think another one
What's
that
your-
I think another one that I might go for is like some kind of like mechanical vocal cord type thing, because that would be cool. Being able to like create any sound. Imagine the music you can make with that. That would be awesome. You could be like singing Ministry songs and just like singing every note and every like industrial thing in the song.
Then I wouldn't get as much enjoyment out of like being able to practice and emulate
Yeah.
other voices, you know, because like there are a couple singers I can sound pitch perfect to, but that would be kind of cool to be
Yeah.
able to emulate anybody's voice like that. I know I'd get a lot of enjoyment out of that because there are several singers that I'd like to be able to sing like.
Okay,
it's
so I
way
guess
out of
what
my
implant
register.
you would want would depend on like what you do in your life, but imagine like some of the stuff that would be really cool is like mechanical vocal cords, not to like emulate sounds or whatever, but just to be able to like make your voice louder. So if you're given a whole lot of speeches or whatever, like
Oh boy, I'm
If
gonna
you-
sneeze.
if you go up on like TED Talks or whatever, or if you do whatever really, you can have like all sorts of like, you can just make your voice louder. You could go out into a crowd like Fezzik and make everybody move out of the way.
Yeah. Anybody want a peanut? Yeah, you know, and then my brain, excuse me, my brain always goes to like the nefarious uses of that stuff. The downside is, you know, you could imitate anybody really,
Yeah.
and then you could make audio recordings. It's kind of like the way they're doing deep fake videos now. Like nothing's sacred anymore, and nobody's safe. You know, they're like deep fakes of people giving testimonials for products, and they're like, I never did this. I never signed a contract for this company. I never, you
Yeah.
know, I never endorsed this. and they're really good. Like they've got some really good technology out there, and it's all you can do it on a laptop at home. You know,
Well, I
you don't
suppose
you
then
don't
what
need
you need at that point is like an official Tesla brand identification chip right in your forehead, so that when you're on video, it scans it and it says, "This is actually you" or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know, I mean, that all started with a biometric identification technology on at companies and on doorways and entryways and whatnot.
yeah,
Fingerprints and then retinal scans. So
fingerprints make sense at least because those are like unique, aren't they? Or at least pretty unique.
fingerprints?
Yeah.
Yeah, the odds of having the same fingerprint of somebody are virtually zero.
Yeah.
It's not unheard of, but it's very, very highly unlikely. And I guess retinal scans are the same way. Nobody has the same pattern in their eyes.
But retinal scans seemed like, well, I guess.
What happens if you have pink eye?
Yeah. Oh, Paraj says no. We've screwed up now.
Well, let's hear Praj.
What did we get wrong?
The question of the hour is what would your implant of choice be if you had your chance to have any cybernetic implant?
I'm more curious now as to what we messed up. I want to hear that. Fingerprint is bad science. Okay.
Fingerprint.
So what is
okay.
that? What is?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you could just wear gloves, and then that would kind of negate the whole thing. So.
Yeah, and I did see a product. I won't say where. That had pads that you could buy that would emulate fingerprints, and they were little latex, like skin-like sensors that you could use.
Like the gloves that you get for the winter, so you can use your phone. Oh,
these were actual
I see.
forged fingerprint skin tips that you could.
That seems illegal.
They had yes, very. So hopefully there's nobody out there in the FBI listening to this because they'll want to come questioning me. But anyway. So
it's a gag gift.
It's a gag gift.
Yeah, it's a gag gift. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the question, that question that comes around like in this family every now and then.
It's a gag gift that you allegedly saw online.
It's I allegedly saw this. I could be pulling it out of my rear, but you know, it was really cool technology. The question that comes up around here a lot is like, what superhero power would you like? And I love
yeah.
Or what superhero power do you have now?
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't your mom's like the ability to know everything that happened 20 minutes ago? He says, not near a good keyboard. The statistics around fingerprint matches is not established well. All right, fair enough. But yeah, wow, that was a weird jump from like, we went from, well, I guess we really didn't. We talked about memories, and we talked about like
implants, and then
the ability to edit and
cyberpunk.
delete, and then it just, I was trying to stitch that back together, like how we got there.
Superhero powers, though, this is one that I actually find very useful. I can like super tune in and focus and really be able to pay attention, and I will be able to hear like every minute detail, and I can hear stuff from like rooms away, and then I can also just tune out everything and not be able to hear a single thing outside of whatever I'm typing on my phone. So like
you can do that now, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, as soon as I start typing, like I don't know, I guess I'm just not good at focusing or whatever, but like as soon as I start typing something out, I always like 100% of my brain switches over to focusing on typing so that I don't like whatever. Cuz like if I'm talking and typing and they're about two different things, like sometimes I'll be trying to like text somebody on my phone and then also talk to one of you guys. And it doesn't happen often, but sometimes I'll just start mixing up words. So I'll be talking to you guys, and I'll just start typing what I'm talking. Like, I'll be talking about, I was fighting that boss in that game the other day, and I think quesadilla sounds good for dinner. What are we doing the next day, though? And I'll just, like, completely switch it up.
Yeah, you got that spooky-ass mom hearing. But she hears everything. You gotta go, like, to another county. What are you looking at there?
Looking at his messages. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But that hearing, I can like.
Oh, interesting.
I will be able to like focus on something, and I will be able to hear my name being called from like 3 rooms away, or I'll be able to hear like they're talking about dinner plans. I need to go out there. I hear bacon sizzling in the pan. I need to be out there. And then other times I'm like, yeah, they're not saying anything important. I don't have to listen right now.
Yeah, you try to bullshit us all the time. Your mom and I know better though. Like you got the super hearing. You do. You got excellent hearing, and I know you hear stuff because like you're right.
Okay,
somebody could whisper. Somebody could whisper, bacon.
That's
and
the
you're
thing.
like,
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I have really good hearing, but I will put filters on it. So I'll be like, I will tune out every word except for like very specific things. So I will genuinely not. I guess I'll hear you, but it's like it kind of like in one ear out the other, but it doesn't even go in the first ear. Like I'm hearing you, but it's more of like somebody's talking somewhere, you know, but I'm not like not well enough to actually hear it or even listen to it. But then I'll be able to pick out words like it'll just sound like mumbles and bacon, and then somebody say bacon.
I guess if I had to pinpoint like a superhero power that I have now, there's two. I think you listed 2 of them that you have.
I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I can think of 2 right off the bat. One of them is no. One of them is I have a built-in GPS, and I've had this since I was a kid. You could drop me in the middle of a foreign country, never been to. I can find my way back to where you dropped me off from.
To the test. I want to see you playing GeoGuessr. I'll tell you about that when you're done. But
okay, yeah, I'm curious to see that. But I'd help friends find their way back. Like we drive around in the suburbs for hours, and like Vince, my best friend Vince, would get lost, and I'd be like, go up here, turn right, go up 2 blocks, turn left, go up here, turn right, you know, and we'll get back to the main road. And it was just like, because I think I paid a lot of attention as a kid when I was a scout, you know, to like where the sun rises and where the sun sets, where you're at, you know, in relation to where you're at, and other little telltale hints here and there that you just learn, you know. And this is before I was driving, and this is before I knew, you know, north, south, east, west.
Yeah.
But then you learn those things, and that just adds to it. Now it's sort of like spin me around blindfolded, and I can find my way. The other thing,
I'm the opposite of GPS.
You can get lost anywhere.
I'm in the same boat as you. I
can see how that would suck. Like the older you get, just don't get lost on your way out of the bed to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
I was gonna say like I'll get lost in the backyard sometimes. I'll get like, where was I going? Huh.
You wind up peeing in the clothes hamper like somebody we know. Nope, not gonna say any names.
No, I was gonna say, did you read the this completely jumping topics, but did you ever read or listen to the Dave Mustain autobiography or whatever?
No, I did not.
So he was talking about they were at a show in England, and this was like the first concert that they had to cancel because this guy there, he was selling bootleg Megadeth shirts, and at the time Dave Mustaine was like, yeah, great.
All right, Paraj, we'll talk to you.
Yeah. He's like, at the time, he's like, I don't care that you're selling bootleg shirts. I'm just glad that you like us enough to be doing that, you know? And the guy said, oh, it was in Ireland. And the guy said, yeah, selling them for the cause. So he got up on stage and he said, yeah, he said this concert's for the cause. And it turns out the cause was that whole big Catholic versus Protestant thing.
Yeah.
And
they
never actually got to play any of the songs because a fight broke out in the stands. I think people died, but they were escorted out of there in a bulletproof bus.
Wow.
But they were in the hotel and they were packing up to leave because they just had to get out of the country at that point. And he was saying, I think it was the drummer at the time. He was so drunk that he stood up in the middle of the night in their hotel room, walked over and pissed in Dave Mustaine's suitcase. all over all of his shit.
Oh my god. Oh, that's terrible.
That's what I thought you were talking about for a minute, and then he said like a friend of ours, and I'm like, wait.
No, I'll tell you offline because I don't know if this person is still around or not. But anyway, they might even recognize it, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get your ass back. I'm gonna pay your ass back." Anyway, my other superpower would be patterns, connecting the dots. I see patterns in everything. I see patterns in things that people take years to put together, you know, and I'm just virtually any topic, any subject, any whether it's nature, whether it's art, you know, in real life, out in the world, you know, not just like, I'm not talking like horizontal patterns and squiggly patterns. I'm talking about connecting things that
Yeah,
are
like
seemingly
connecting
disconnected.
subjects or
Exactly.
yeah, whatever. I get it. I totally get it.
And it gets scary sometimes because it's not. I wouldn't really call it the ability to predict, but it's almost like that. Like you can, if you see the trend and you connect these things, you can almost predict, like, based on these things that are being connected, here's what I see coming next.
That's almost like another game that I kind of want to see you play now because of that, which I'll tell you about when I tell you about GeoGuessr, but continue on with that.
Oh, that's pretty much it.
So the first game you were talking about, or that I was talking about, you were saying that you have like this kind of built-in human GPS system. So I want to see you playing GeoGuessr, which is, it's all based off of Google Maps Street View.
Okay.
And you are dropped at a random set of coordinates in the world, not counting oceans because they don't have streetcars in the ocean. So you're dropped at a random spot in a random country. So like, whole world, you throw a dart at the board and you're dropped somewhere in there, and your alarm's going off. So you're dropped somewhere in the world, and you can like spin the camera around, you can look at your surroundings, you can like move like the Google Street View, and you have to try and use that, like use your surroundings and whatever to try and guess where you're at in the world.
Oh,
so you
wow.
were saying you could
That
be
sounds
dropped
pretty
in
cool.
the middle of a country and you would be able to figure it out. So GeoGuessr does exactly that. So I want to see how good you really are.
But in a virtual sense. Yeah. And
no,
I wonder
they come to
how
your house, throw a bag
No.
over your head, and drop you out of a plane.
they sackcloth you.
Yep.
A little van
Kazakhstan
pulls
wedding
up.
style.
Kazakhstan
Yeah.
wedding style. Very nice. Oh my god. Yeah, I went up there. Hello, my name is Borat.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder though, I really do. I wonder because, like, there's a whole different thing when you're out in the world and you're using your senses. It literally feels like you're using your spidey senses, like,
Yeah.
you know, when you sort of like tune into where I need to go, which direction I need to be headed, and so on. And a lot of that too could be like pattern recognition, or like I don't know. Chris would probably know the term for this. Like if you've been through an area. And you sort of like have, well, I'm not saying like as a normal travel path, but like you may have passed by or you may have passed through.
Oh no,
and your brain may lock on to certain landmarks and features, so you might have a recall of that, even if it's just a faint recall of that.
Yeah.
And it sort of gives you a little indication of like where your bearings are, where you're heading.
Yeah.
You know.
So.
But it's cool because like your mom and I talked about that when we first met, and like I'd be able to find my way around. Like I came back out here. I had a trip out here, and it was overwhelmed with just everything. The people I met, the places I saw. Next time I came out, I was like, "Oh, and we got to go over here and here and here." And she's like, "How did you remember that?" You know, and I'm like, just feels right, like the way to go.
So the other thing that I was gonna suggest, you were saying.
What is it called again? GeoGuessr.
GeoGuessr.
Okay.
It's that weird like Tumblr spelling where it's like GeoGuessr, Guessr. It is a very fun game, so if you're out there and you want to try it, I would highly recommend it. I think you can play it for free still. They might have added a subscription mode, I can't remember. But the other one, you were saying you can like connect patterns, and you can connect dots to like see all this stuff, and it's not exactly that, but and I was telling you about this before, but like Wikipedia racing, where you choose two.
Yes.
Yeah, you choose two disconnected topics, like George Bush and anime, whatever. I'm just pulling two random things out of my head, and you try to click links to get from the first topic to the second topic. So you say, okay, George Bush, president to government to foreign policy to countries to Japan to Japanese media, boom, anime.
Got it.
There it is. So you try to like...
And is the goal to try to like do it in as few links as possible?
Yeah, it depends on how you play it. There was, I've seen people play it with, who can get there the fastest, like who can take the least amount of time to get there, and then who can get there in the least amount of clicks. And there are a couple rules, like, you can't use the see also links, so any of like the see also, the one
because that's like a big old hint list.
You can't use
right there hint list.
Yep, you can't use lists. So like lists of like, here's just a list of things that start with A. Now go pick anime out of there. You can't do anything like that. And the one that really makes it the hardest is you can't use main country pages. So you can't just click on Japan or United States of America or England or Britain.
Wow,
or whatever.
okay.
So you
So
gotta
you
try
really
and,
have
like,
to find a way around that it's linked. That's pretty cool. Got a whole lot of chat going on here.
What about points for who can get there the weirdest? I don't know about that. I haven't seen that before.
That would be really
that would
cool.
be- yeah.
Style points for like the most bizarre path to the subject.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen people go from like, I was watching one thing the other day and I can't remember what the fuck they were trying to get to. What they were trying to get there from, but they were trying to get to the Ontario Lacrosse Association, and this dude went from like, I can't remember where they started, but he ended up taking some weird path that brought him to like Mario, to the war in the Middle East, all the way back around to the Ontario Lacrosse Association.
So the war in the Middle East, that's the one. As soon as you said Mario, I started thinking games, and the reason I thought games is in Windsor, Ontario, there's a casino, so you see how it could start to put this together. I'll bet it'd be pretty good at that.
So you go from like Mario to games, FPS games, and like modern combat, and then you do there. It's about like this, and that's, you go to like the war in the Middle East, and then you go from there to like, I don't know how you get from there to Canada.
Lacrosse.
Yeah. Well, if you can get to like Ontario, then you can get there a bit easier because like Ontario's not a country; it's just a place in Canada. So you can go to Ontario. You can also go to states. So you could go to like Wisconsin if you wanted, but you can't go to the country. So you could go to Ontario and then sports, and then try to find that. But then you're in the sports list under Ontario. So it's pretty fun.
It sounds like it. I'm just really thinking about that now. Like,
so
now I'm stuck on like, how do they get like war in the Middle East?
I'd
like to see
that's what I was saying. Was like he got to,
I
can't remember how he got to Mario, but Mario to war in the Middle East, you could go like Mario games to modern games, or game genres to FPS games to modern military FPS games, modern military FPS games to just any FPS game that takes place in the Middle East, and then like, you know, main article of whatever war it's in, and then wars in the Middle East, and then that's how you get to Mario, or that's how you get from Mario to there. But I don't know where you go after that is the problem.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that. That's really...
You could go like U.S. military to... Yeah, it's weird. Oh, the other rule is no going back. Once you click on a link, you can't go back a page.
Yeah, you got to keep moving forward.
You have to make a choice, and you have to stick with that link that you chose.
Well, okay.
I remember what they started from. It was like Oleg Garivsky, the winner of the 1968 Uzbekistan presidential race or something like that. And it was a dead end article, which meant that there was only one link you could click on there. So basically, is in the entire article, the only thing you could click on was like Uzbekistan or whatever it was.
Wow.
And you have to go just off of that. But it's super fun.
Yeah, it sounds like
so
it.
if you're good at like connecting the dots or whatever, that is one that I would recommend playing to see like how you can kind of string stuff together.
I'm gonna have to do that. We could do a stream of that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
And like test out my skills there. Yeah, definitely. But it's also reminiscent in a weird kind of a way to the 6 Degrees of Separation.
Yeah.
6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
It's based off of that actually, where you try to like connect two things with only using like 6 things in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know about that one, right? Like everybody has 6 degrees of separation to Kevin Bacon, the actor. Yeah. It's pretty funny. I've seen some good ones like that. Like, you think it's a stretch, but you know, some of them you can prove.
Yeah.
Or have been proven. I got no words. I got words not tonight.
Kevin Bacon. I can do it in one step. That kind of connects us.
Okay.
Guys, done. End it there.
That's a little broad. But Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stranger Things season 4 is getting ready to wrap up filming.
I saw that, yeah.
So still no release date for it yet, and I assume it's still coming to Netflix for those of you who are Stranger Things fans.
Yeah, but
It's
we
gonna
need
be.
to watch season 3.
Well, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, we've seen all of them. We could go back through it. I'm happy to go back through it again. But
I don't remember watching season 3.
yeah, well, I know your mom and I did, but maybe that's one of those times where you were being antisocial, didn't want to come down. You were playing video
Possibly, yeah.
games.
Oh,
You were reading weird,
I
interesting
think,
facts about like connecting Uzbekistan
yeah.
to Kazakhstan to
I
its asshole
think
name from
that-
Uzbekistan.
yeah. Below us is asshole
Yeah.
name of Uzbekistan. I think that was one of the ones. I think we all went over to Ian's house to watch that.
Oh, okay.
Although that could have been season 2 now that I think about it. It was season 2.
Maybe.
I just
Anyway.
don't think I ever saw season 3.
Anyway, point is, they're wrapping up filming. There's no release date yet, but obviously it's probably not going to be out till maybe Christmas, maybe 2022 sometime. But the hot piece of gossip about that is that spin-offs are in the crosshairs now. So they might be doing
There's always
spin-offs like they would do
spin-offs.
11. They do a story on her background, like her origin story, and get a little more into that. They do a story about like Dustin or whatever.
Spin-offs are getting kind of out of hand lately. Have
Do
you
you
noticed that?
think so?
Yeah, because I mean, look
Well,
at.
are you just talking about the Marvel universe, the
No,
MCU?
I guess I'm talking more about Star Wars. Like, they have the Star Wars movies, the main 9 of them now. I suppose I keep saying the main 6.
Big universe.
Yeah, but then they had the Mandalorian, and now they're like within
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
They're like within a year of each other. There's Ahsoka,
Solo.
Solo, the Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, the Bad Batch, the one about R2 and C-3PO.
Yeah.
There's like 6 or 7 of them that are all coming out within a year of each other, and it's all like.
Well, I know we probably have several happy people in the
Yeah.
chat verse right
Oh,
now.
I mean, I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
More stuff to watch, but like, it is kind of crazy how fast they're just kicking those out.
Yeah, I think they probably have a pretty good team of writers
Yeah.
and producers,
Oh,
and they've
dude,
got. It's sort of like when you get that
what
formula
is
down,
that
and
guy's
you know.
name? Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Who did the Mandalorian? He's doing like all of those,
Yeah.
and it's great because he's been making them like really good. Yeah, Rangers of the Republic or Rangers of the New Republic. There's the 7th one, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
you got to
he-
watch Swinger. Speaking of Jon Favreau.
He is the director for all of those, and he has been doing really good. He did the Clone Wars animated series from 2008, which is still one of my favorite animated series of all time, I think. But,
I like him as an actor and as a director because
Yep.
he
Obi-Wan Kenobi,
reminds
there
me
it is.
he may be a little more diverse than Kevin Smith. Don't get me wrong, I love Kevin Smith. I love the stuff he makes.
We did
but,
say that, yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, Obi-Wan, which I got the T-shirt. You guys got me that T-shirt,
Yeah.
so I gotta wear that.
You do,
I
tomorrow.
don't know if Chris has that too. I thought maybe he had that Obi-Wan Kenobi. Anyway, Jon Favreau. Yep, love him as an actor, love him as a director, and he's got a pretty broad range
Oh, yeah.
of stuff. And Kevin Smith, we talked about that on I think it was 2 episodes back.
Yeah, because
Because they are filming. They just started filming the day that we did the stream. Clerks 3, and back in Leonardo, New Jersey, back where it all started, and that's kind of exciting, kind of funny.
I'm looking forward to Kenobi, or Obi-Wan Kenobi, or whatever the show is called. I'm really
Hello
looking,
there.
Yeah, with Ewan McGregor coming back,
Yeah.
for his role, and Hayden Christensen coming back as Anakin.
Yeah. I wonder how they're gonna do that. They're gonna have to like CG the shit out of
CG,
his
yeah.
face.
I think it'd be easier though, because at least like he's there as a basis.
Yeah.
Whereas like what they did with
If
Grand Moff
he
Tarkin,
if
like,
he
just
stayed thin
making
enough,
him-
they could do it pretty easily. Probably clean him up. What's that?
Yeah, Filoni. That's who I was thinking of, not Favreau.
Oh, not
Completely-
Jon Favreau?
No, completely different guy. I just got it mixed up. It was Filoni, yeah.
Okay, but wait, Jon Favreau had something to do with one of those series, didn't he? The Mandalorian?
Dave Filoni did. Man, now I'm all thrown off. John, not Kennedy, not F. Kennedy Thoreau.
Is this one of those?
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, I think they both. I think they're both just.
Was he producer or director?
Yeah, okay. So Jon Favreau did Mandalorian, and he's doing the newer ones. Dave Filoni did. Yeah. There
Yeah.
is.
Yep. No, I'm not going crazy.
Yeah. Dave Filoni did Clone Wars though.
No, I didn't see. I watched the old Clone Wars, the original Clone Wars.
What do you mean the original? Clone Wars? The one from
when you were a little kid, like when you were really little.
Was it the 3D animation?
No, it was.
So the 2003 one probably.
Yeah.
It was kind of like
animated.
It was that old it was almost like the Samurai Jack style.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's on Disney Plus now. I just rewatched.
What isn't? I mean, they've got all that stuff now. I mean, that's their whole franchise. That's their moneymaker.
Yeah, I just rewatched the 2003 version recently on Disney Plus, and I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was.
In fact, now that I think of it, this laptop that I just
one that's in like this style, right?
The laptop that I cracked. That I did watch that, and I did watch the other one because the laptop that I cracked, that was yours, the Notebook.
Did it have the game on there?
It had 3 seasons of Clone Wars on there.
Yeah.
That somehow found their way.
Yeah, I love that one. They were they started off as little shorts. They were
now he's putting that. I'm thinking Darren Aronofsky, but that's like a whole other. He's a whole other person.
He was putting the 2003 ones. They were originally like 30-second shorts that were done before other shows, but they ended up making them into like hour-long episodes. There's something like 4 episodes, but there's like an hour each, so about 4 hours of stuff. It's pretty good.
Cool, very cool. So yeah, we blew right past the Stranger Things stuff, but that's okay. That's all right. There wasn't a whole lot to report on that, but a good segue for spin-offs, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind spin-offs so much because, like, if you don't do a good job of doing character development in the movies, in the primary movies, you know, okay. Here's one that got under my skin: Aliens 4. I don't know I can't remember what the title was, but the 4th Aliens. They had some excellent characters in there. And
but then the rest
they
of the
got killed off right away. Like, Winona Ryder, the whole, like, it's coming to me. I think it was Michael Winnicott. He played, and I can't remember the character's name in The Crow. He was the main leader of the gang. You know, he had the long dark hair, and he's the one. You know, let me do a little impression for you. Caw, caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead. You know.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of gruff voice, but he played like a pirate, a space pirate, and he had a crew, and there was a guy in there who had dreadlocks, and he had like dual pistols, and they had all these great characters that could have just they had the potential to build them up, and they may have been a little tropey, you know, maybe, but like now you're seeing it through a space opera, right? Through the lens of like this massive space Hulk floating in space, you know, and here they're going to try to go for like the cargo or you know, whatever they're going for on this ship, and like they kill him off like almost instantly, and it was like, oh man. Yep.
Speaking of spin-offs and speaking of Alien versus Predator, that whole thing, you know, I mean, it was fun to watch. Like,
that's a good way to put it. It was fun to watch. It was entertaining.
It's one of those movies where it's like, it's really fun when you're watching it. So like, when you're in the middle of it, it's like, oh my god, this is awesome, and then you walk away and you don't think of it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because then you have those vague flashbacks of like, I think I saw that, you know, or it looks vaguely like, familiar, But, you know, there are things that leave lasting impressions on you, like Studio Ghibli stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know.
Totally.
And speaking of, Hayao Miyazaki is working on what's allegedly reported to be his final film. And it's called How Do You Live? And it sounded really cool. It's based off of a Japanese classic that was published like over 80 years ago, and it's like supposed to be every child's, you know, favorite book, right? It's their, you know, everybody like here, like you could say, what was your favorite book, and you might say The Hobbit, or you might say
my favorite book.
Yeah. So It's getting republished. It's going to be the first time that it has an American translation. Neil Gaiman does the foreword for it, so that's kind of cool. It's a really big thing. But as far as the movie adaptation, it's Hayao Miyazaki, and it's a special thing for him because
awesome.
Not only was it one of his childhood favorites, but again, it's going to be his he's dedicating his life to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be his last film, which is a little sad, but
it is. But I mean,
I imagine it's going to be just
good fucking films
outstanding.
Past, so,
yeah.
And Alien vs. Predator, it was really cheesy, and I think that's kind of what made it good, was that they didn't take it too seriously, because I think if they took it, like, way too seriously, then it wouldn't have been so bad it's good, it just would have been bad.
Yeah.
But, it was very cheesy. It's one of those ones you, like, put on in the background while you're working on something else. So you're like,
yeah,
you've got an hour to spare, so you just watch it. It's
you don't really have to invest yourself in the focusing in on it 100% of the time. I kind of thought that about Predator the first time Predator came out. It was a background movie while we were gaming, and then like you start looking up every now and then in the scenes, at some of the scenes, and they're really intense, and you find yourself like,
I can't stop.
Oh my god, yeah, you can't stop watching it. And there's some good one-liners in there too, So, of course, if it bleeds, we can kill it, and that always makes its way into
get
games.
Your ass to Mars and get to the chopper and
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was Arnold that did that, if he ad-libbed or if he wrote those, but he was like the king of one-liners,
Sure.
Like every game we played in practically in our 20s and 30s like had something from him in there,
That's something that we did a while ago that was fun that I was thinking about recently, when we just, like, I think Mom was out of town for a while, and we just marathoned, like, every movie that he was in.
Yeah.
We watched,
yeah, that was cool.
We watched the first 2 or the first 3 Terminator movies. We watched, Kindergarten Cop. We watched, we watched, like, so many. We watched the one...
Predator.
Predator, yep.
What else?
What's the one where he goes to Mars? Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Yep. We watched The Running Man.
The Running Man. Yeah, another Stephen King.
Yeah.
Get your ass to
There was
Mars.
the one where he was like trying to rescue his daughter or something like that. He was a commando.
Yeah, that was the name of it, Commando.
Oh, Commando. Yeah. But yeah, we just watched like all of them in one night, and it was like 8 hours, 9 hours, something like that. But it was fun. That was one of the fun things that we watched. Braveheart. We started Braveheart. I don't think. Well, you've seen it, obviously, but I never finished it. I think at the time when we tried to watch it, I was too young and I got bored after like half an hour. But I'd give it a shot again. Totally.
Yeah, there was something that just came up about Braveheart too, about the costumes. Like they didn't have God, I want to say it was kilts. Like they didn't wear kilts or something back in that period. It was a big thing, like for historians. They were like, how could you make this and claim that this is historically accurate?
And
to William Wallace. Yeah, but and I don't know if that was it or not, but it might have been.
Huh.
Because I usually anything on the subject of kilts usually grabs my attention pretty quick, but I don't know. I found the movie enjoyable. I found it okay. The scene where at the end where he gets tortured is a little, they don't really show it, but
spoilers,
they imply it. Yeah.
Spoilers for this like at least 20-year-old movie. It's it's much longer than that. I don't know when it was released, but it wasn't 2000s, that's for sure, right?
No, it was before that. I think it was like mid to late 90s maybe. But
no spoilers for that, man.
Yeah,
That's like at least
it was not historical. Yeah,
that's like 30 years old. How could he spoil it? Some of us haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's a 30-year-old movie. Hilarious. So we're coming up at like 5 to 9.
So you want to hit the intermission here? Move over to the bench?
Well, yeah, but let's let our audience know we're gonna switch over to the workbench here in a moment or two. And as we do, if you've been around, we're gonna hit a little intermission, little 15-minute break. What do you think about maybe cutting that early a little bit? The break, the intermission. I'm just saying we got some good people. We got some good chat going on here. Unless unless y'all don't mind waiting around. If you got us playing in the background while you're doing other stuff, that's totally cool.
I
Well,
need at least a couple minutes to like just destroy a sandwich.
all right, that's all good.
So,
You're gonna like inhale a sandwich in
oh
the
yeah,
break. All right,
possibly two.
all right. We're gonna take 15. We'll be back from the workbench, and we hope to see you then.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Black Dragon Tavern. I'm your host, Dante,
I'm your host, Deacon.
and we're broadcasting live now from the Workbench. So, oh, that's my audio. I'm getting some feedback here. Hang on, let me turn my monitor down here. There we go. All right. So tonight I'm going to actually do some painting. I'm going to at least attempt to do some painting here.
That's a rare thing.
Yeah, it is a rare thing. I got my gobos primed up, Deacon. I'm super happy about that. I got so many little gobos here.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of original GW Kev Adams sculpts from the 1990s. I've got some Spellcrow stuff, little resin cast figures I picked up recently.
Oh, I love the Spellcrow things.
Yeah, they're
They
really
make some
funny.
Really those guys, it's all the polls. Cromlex, Spellcrow. What's the other one?
Yeah,
Hex
HQ Miniatures.
HQ Miniatures,
Yep.
Hex Miniatures,
Yep.
Hexy Miniatures.
Yeah, they're all out of Poland.
Yeah.
And they do some excellent sculpts and casting, too.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that. I even got this little hobgoblin I would paint up here. It's got a couple horns.
Excited to see that all painted up. It's a really cool sculpt.
What are you working on this week?
Oh, let me tell you what I'm working on this week. I have a special project that I've been working on. I'd say non-stop, but I have had to take quite a few breaks for work there in between. But I bought, I was talking about it last week on stream, I bought a Baneblade, the mightiest tank in the Imperium. I now own one. And my bank account has never hurt more. So, I actually have this tank out here. This is not a Baneblade, but I have this tank out here to show you that the Baneblade is...
Oh, yeah, the size
quite a
comparison
bit
between
bigger.
the two of them.
So, this, dwarfs the other tank.
Yeah, put like a standard miniature up in front of that tank.
Standard by what size? Imperial Guard?
Like a 40k mini.
Okay. So I'll put an Imperial Guard guy there, why not? I've got this guy, he's kinda cool. Put him right up here on one of these little turrets. You can't even really see him there.
Maybe turn the tank sideways. Yeah, you can see it. It looks pretty good. I can see it in the camera here.
So he's, it's pretty big.
It's huge.
Yeah. And, it has been kind of fun to paint so far. There have been a few areas that have been a bit of a pain in the ass, but, I've been enjoying it.
So the real question is, are you going to paint all the rivets on it?
Kind of. I figured on an actual tank, because I did look at, I'm not even kidding, hundreds of pictures of real tanks.
I believe it.
What I've noticed is they always paint over the rivets.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured what I could do is, instead of just picking out every single rivet by hand, I'd just grab a bit of wash on a brush and dot each rivet so that the wash pools around the outside of the rivet, gives it a little bit of depth.
That's a lot of fiddly work.
It is.
I mean, don't you think that would be covered, like, if you were just doing a general wash on the tank itself?
I tried doing a general wash on the tank, and I didn't like it. The wash came out too streaky. It was very streaky on the sides. I even thinned it down with a Lamium medium. But, yeah, I tried it, wasn't a fan of it. So this is actually my second time base coating it. I repainted the green, I repainted the camel on there. But yeah, so I even did, this is one of my favorite parts of it so far. Not sure how well this picks up on camera, but I have this dozer blade for a Lehman Russ that I didn't use it on because I don't want it on these smaller tanks, so threw some magnets on there, and now it just clips onto the front. Just like that. And when I don't want it on there, pull it right off.
Yeah, that came out great. I think
Yeah.
you hit the position on those spot on.
And I did that trick that I told you about a while ago where you put a really thick dot of paint on the top of it and then you press the magnet up against there so you know
where to mark it.
Yeah, exactly where to put it.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been working on this all week, and actually I'm not going to be working on it tonight. I know, sounds crazy, but that leads into the other thing I wanted to talk about was I got a box of infantry. These are just the standard Catachan jungle fighters, because that is what I play. I have not done the fun and creative thing of making my own guys. I have just chosen one of the standard GW army, so I'm going to be working on the Catachin Jungle Fighters. So, I picked up a box of infantry, and I'm going to use them as crew members for the tank. Gunners on the side, people loading guns, all sorts of fun stuff. So, I've got the 4 sprues there.
And lots of loose stuff in the box I can hear.
Oh, bases, yeah. And the instructions, which I will not be using, because who uses instructions? It's stupid. So I've got, oh, this is the other thing I meant to mention about the tank. I can't stop talking about this thing. I love this kit. There's a lot of stuff I hate about the kit, but for the most part, I love it. The tracks are such a pain in the ass to put on, but once you look past the tracks, it's awesome. I did some custom sculpting. Well, I wouldn't say sculpting, but I did some custom work on here. So instead of just the standard stereotypical Baneblade variant, I've put the turret of the Baneblade on top of the hull part of the Stormlord.
Yeah,
So,
total kit bashing. And
yeah.
and then the custom sculpted sandbags on the back. You know, I don't know if you can get that in the camera or not. You have to lift your light up probably. But so we worked on that last night, or was that the night before? I can't remember now. Took some DOS, air drying clay,
That's not really
and
working.
sculpted up a whole bunch of little sandbags to put up there, sandbag emplacements around the back of the personnel carrier area.
And that is where the crew will be going.
Chris says he thought I was applauding your choice, then realized I was mixing something. Yeah, mixing up some Army Painter Goblin Green here. And we actually have a paint mixer here. Like
oh, it's too loud to put on the microphone.
You know,
so.
I can turn that on and show you.
It is a serious piece of armor.
But I don't think anybody wants to have that blasted on the live stream for 10 minutes while the paint mixes up.
It is a serious piece of armor. It takes up about a quarter of my army. So it's what is it? 500 points, just about. It's pretty big. I've also got a crap ton of spare parts here that I'm going to be digging through for these guys. So I'll just get started.
Trying to throw a bad dad joke in there. Yeah, I'm gonna jump right in here and.
So which one are you starting with first?
I don't know. Like, there's so many to choose from. I kind of want to do this Hobgoblin, but his skin tone or its skin tone will be a little bit different. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna production line a whole bunch of these goblins in their base colors. Yeah, he started in I think it says Mole Biolab 33 years ago. You know what a vortex is. Yeah, and I think another mutual friend of ours, Tim Deschaines, has a vortex mixer at home that he said he uses for paints. This is a cheap $25 nail polish shaker.
Biology. That makes sense.
Yeah, yep. Of course, I didn't think it was moles like, the ones that dig holes in your golf courses. So I think I'm going to start with this little Spellcrow guy. Every time I pick up a brush and I start doing something like this that I like if I know... You know how, like, you have figures that you look at them and you're like, I'm going to enjoy painting this.
Yeah.
It never ceases to amaze me, like, that feeling that comes rushing back. Like, I do enjoy doing this. And I do need to spend more time painting.
You do. That is true.
But it's always that dance of, like, the stuff that's got to be done that I need to be doing more of around here.
Yeah.
I'm liking this gray from Army Painter, this primer. It's a nice neutral gray, real middle of the road here. I guess let's see what it does to the overall hue. This guy was got butt crack. Gabo's got crack.
I think it's this set of arms that I'm going to be using. Ooh, a long lost Reaper Goblin. That sounds fun.
I'm not one to like throw shade on local businesses, but I've got a story I wanted to share with folks who are out there listening. And we know most of the folks there personally, so you know you may understand this. We were doing some purging and decided to go through the bookshelves. Thanks to Jennifer, she wanted to get rid of some stuff. So we boxed them all up, and we had this bright idea, like, yeah, let's take them to half-price books. You know, we'll go sell them. And, you know, we weren't expecting to get rich or anything like that, but I gotta tell you, we took 2 milk crates full of books and an additional decent-sized Amazon cardboard box with more books in them, or in it. And the offer they made us was just like highway robbery.
$9 and like
$9
and
yeah, what was I thought it was $9.41, but what was it?
It's like $9.74 or something like that.
Yeah, $9 and some change for like what was easily
They
50
are really
books.
cheap, yeah.
And it was like a slap in the face. That was the first time I think I had dealt with taking books up there to sell. And again, you know, we're not talking like first edition hardcovers of collectible books.
But there were a lot of books.
But Christ, you know, like, yeah, like I said, there had to be at least, I don't know, I'd say probably between 30 and 40, 30 and 50 books maybe. There were a lot. That's a good idea, Paraj. Jennifer was saying she kind of wishes like we would have just given them away or put them in a little library, because at least we would have felt a little better about, you know, giving back to the community. So I think maybe next time we're going to do that. We're I say we are, but she's the active household member here in this local swap site on Facebook with other folks that we know, and that works out pretty well. People will say, you know, hey, I've got this blanket up for swap, or I've got this, you know, box of books, or whatever the case may be. And at least that way, you know, you know that they're going somewhere where somebody will appreciate them. And
yeah, that and like
a better
what
feeling
Paraj said, the little libraries around town are also great places.
yeah, that's what I just mentioned. Yeah,
I completely missed that.
yeah.
I have been...
Your mom was the one that actually said that. You know, like
Yeah.
she'd feel better about leaving them in a little library, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I have to agree with Michelle on that one. If your kids aren't reading the full Lord of the Rings books by like age 7, you gotta change that. I mean, they need to be like, what is it, the Silmarillion?
Silmarillion?
Yeah, they need to be reading that.
There are those of us who can't get through the whole thing like in a reasonable amount of time. Those legs I see sticking out. Is that Homeboy's actual thigh sticking out of the sides? It's got like a fur
Yep.
frontis piece, and okay.
Mhm. As you so elegantly put it, that would be Homeboy's thighs sticking out of the side. This is... Oh, Jesus. I dropped it. This is the one
What-
thing that I found about this Catachin infantry kit that I really don't like.
What's
None
that?
of their arms seem to line up. Well,
That's a bummer.
specifically for some of the poses, the arms don't seem to line up. Like...
What's her favorite sci-fi author, Paraj? Speaking of sci-fi authors, I was looking for Larry Niven stuff, and they had like one book, and it was like book 4 in the Ringworld series, and
I remember you looking for
didn't
that,
want to
yeah.
grab that because if I'm gonna pick that up, I can probably get it from the library. Now that I've got a library card again. I'll bet, Praj. That's like when Jennifer and I moved in together. 2 microwaves, 2 of this, 2 of that, and tons of books. A lot of foundational books, history and whatnot. Philosophy.
Reads a lot of Cher and Nancy Kress.
Oh yeah, C.J. Chera. I think, if I'm not mistaken, C.J. Chera contributed to the Thieves World series. I think she was one of the authors of a couple of the characters and stories in there, which was fantastic. So, edited by Robert Lynn Asprin and Lynn Abbey. They were married at one point in time. Got a great story about Robert Lynn Asprin. I don't know if I ever shared that or not. I got my Thieves World Volume 1, Tales from the Vulgar Unicorn, autographed by Robert Lynn Asprin. That's not even the best part of the story. Did I share this on a stream before, Deacon? Do you remember?
I don't think you did. Oh, here we go. Digging through piles and piles of spruce. Just to see if I got, like,
Okay,
one
so
single piece.
it's funny that you mentioned the Myth series. So I'll tell you the story. This is kind of funny. So stick around. It's a good one. When I was single and I was in my 20s, I used to frequent New Orleans. I would go every year for 2 weeks at a time, and I did this for 10 years in a row. It was my getaway. And I wound up meeting a whole bunch of fantastic people there, locals, natives and transplants to New Orleans. So I always had people to stay with, people to visit. I usually got my own room, but like if I was there for a couple weeks and I needed a place to crash after a heavy night of drinking, it was not a problem. Made friends with chefs, restaurant owners, entertainers, you name it. And the oddest and most funny relationship that I made was with a clown, a 6'6" clown by the name of Sandy. And I was down with some friends visiting New Orleans, and we were having some ice cream at this little place off of what is it, Jackson Square. Sorry, I'm trying to do this little fiddly part right here. And we were approached by this massive clown in full-on clown regalia. And he was taking a break, and we were talking to him, and he seemed like a really pretty funny kind of person and good sense of humor, but also, just like really interesting. after we got to talking to him for a while. So we wound up going out for drinks and became fast friends. And the following year, when I went back on my own, I met up with him and his fiance and spent a couple nights at their place. And I brought a book with me, and the book was Thieves' World, Volume 1, Tales from the Vulgar Unicorn. And when I pulled this book out of my backpack, I was looking for something else, but I pulled this book out and I set it down on his coffee table. He picked it up and said, "Oh, Bob Aspirin. He lives right down the hall from me." And if you knew Sandy, you knew that he tended to tell some pretty tall tales. So I said, "Oh, that's cool and interesting," and took it with a grain of salt because I really didn't know if that was the case or, he was still trying to score points. Because again, here's this guy's relatively new as a friend. So we're getting on through the night. We're having dinner. And Sandy ducks out of the apartment for a minute. He goes, "I'll be right back." And he comes back about 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later. And I said, "Where'd you disappear to?" He's like, "Oh, I want to see if Bob was home." And of course, by then I had let it go. I just kind of, put it out of my mind completely. And, nothing more was said about that. And I wasn't connecting at the time those dots that he was talking about Bob Aspirin. So later on in the evening, Sandy gets a wild hair up his ass and decides we need to go on a pub crawl, And I said, "Okay, I'm up, I'm up for that. I mean, it is New Orleans, and I'm down here to, party and relax." So we head down to the French Quarter. We're actually in the French Quarter on the side closest to the French Market, down by the Riverwalk a little bit is where his place was. And I said, "Well, what's on the menu? Where are we going tonight?" And he's like, "Well, we're going to hit Harry's Corner." So we hit this little local establishment called Harry's Corner. It's a little off the beaten path, a little out of the way, outside of the main part of the French Quarter. And a lot of folks go there because they have a really good pour. They make really strong drinks there, and you don't get gouged as much as you do on like Bourbon Street or Royal Street, or even some of the side streets around there. So we go in, and Sandy asks the bartender, "Have you seen Bob tonight?" And the bartender says, "No, he was in here a couple hours ago," and then said he was headed over to, I can't remember, that was the name of this Irish place. And again, I'm just sort of like not really like processing what Sandy's on about, and I'm just drinking and listening to the jukebox. So we leave there after an hour of drinking. That's the key here. And we head over to this other Irish place, and we walk in, and Sandy goes up and asks the bartender, "Has Bob been in?" And they said, "Oh, he was here about half an hour ago. You just missed him. And he was headed over to this other place, this Irish bar. This other Irish bar." So we downed a couple of drinks there, and I said, "Sandy, who's this Bob you keep asking about?" He's like, "Bob Aspirin." And I said, "Holy shit, you're not kidding. Like, he really does live down the hall from me." He's like, "Yeah, he really does. Just think I was bullshitting you?" I go, "I don't know, I just had no clue, So, the third bar we go to, we walk in, lo and behold, in the back of the bar, there's Robert Aspirin playing pool. So Sandy says, "Wait here for a second." I said, "Okay, whatever you say." And I'm feeling pretty good, I've had several drinks by now. So he walks in, he walks to the back of the bar and shakes Robert's hand, and he's talking to him, and he kind of leans over and is whispering something to him, and he points to me, and I'm kind of there, and I'm, I don't know whether to wave or just stand there, so I just stand there. And eventually he waves me back. So I come back, and Sandy introduces us, and he says, "Ephraim, this is Bob. Bob, this is Ephraim." And I said, "It's a pleasure to meet you." And, I said, I thought Sandy was, and I did. I literally said, I thought Sandy was full of shit when he said he knew you. He's like, "Well, I live down the hall from him. I wouldn't exactly say I know him." And so, now I'm embarrassed. I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, okay." So, here's this guy thinking I'm probably going to get all fanboy on him. And I said, "Well, it was great meeting you. I'll let you back to your game." And he goes, "Well, wait, hold on a second."
He says, Sandy tells me you got something special. And I said, I do. And again, you know, I'm drunk and I'm not adding two and two. So he says, yeah. He says, you got one of the books in the Thieves World series. I said, oh yeah. So he says, come on, let's go up to the bar. Let's sit at the bar and take a look at that. So I ordered him an Irish whiskey because that's what he likes to drink, and that was one of the factoids I knew about him. And you know, he was surprised that I knew that. So I pull the book out of my backpack and I show him this book, and he's like, "You've got a classic there. You've got the original artwork. That's the first printing." You know, he goes, "Let me take a look at that. You know, I haven't seen one of those in a long time." So he's like, "Well, where are you from?" So I tell him my story, you know, and he went to school at Ann Arbor and he hung out there, and that's where, you know, half of my family went. University of Michigan, go blue. And I know Paraj is going to kick me in the ass next time he sees me because he's an MSU, you know, Spartans kind of a guy. But it's all good, you know, it's all Michigan. So I'm sitting here now drinking Irish whiskey with Robert Lynn Asprin. And we get to talking about Metro Detroit, what things are like now. He says he hasn't been there in a while. He hasn't been back home in a while. And, you know, he's been down here in New Orleans writing the Myth series. So I said, you know, well, what's that like? Because, you know, admittedly, I haven't read it. And he's telling me, oh, I fucking hate it right now. He's like, I signed this contract to do like a dozen of these things or whatever the contract was. He's like, I've already blown through all the advance, and here I am drinking and shooting pool. And, you know, I really don't want to write any more of these books. So, you know, I'm kind of laughing. I said, okay, you know,
quick breaking news. He says, go green, go white, go MSU.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. So, you know, he's telling me his tale of woe about like having to be on the hook for writing all these books under the current contract for the Myth series. And so I got to hear firsthand, like, just like how tired and how bored he was of writing these, and he's cranking them out. He's like, I'm cranking them out, like I'm not even thinking about it. You know, he's like, I really should be, but it's, you know, more than I should have taken on. And so it was interesting. And then, so he signed my book. He signed my Thieves World book, and the inscription that he put in there, and I didn't ask him for any of this. He's like, let me see that. And I handed it to him, and he took out a pen, and he signed it, and he's like, to Ephraim, where it all begins, NOLA, which is New Orleans, Louisiana, 1998. Or was it 96? Shoot, I can't remember now. And he hands it back to me, you know, slides it back over there. And again, you know, I'm kind of drunk by now, and I didn't notice that he autographed it. And I just happened to look at, and I looked on the inside of the cover, and I go, oh, wow. I said, you didn't have to do that. You know, I said, I didn't come seeking you out, you know, for an autograph. I said, Sandy, you know, saw the book, and he mentioned that you lived down the hall, and you know, he's a good guy. He's got a good heart. And he, without missing a beat, goes, Sandy's kind of an asshole. He goes, but you're right. He does have a good heart. You know, he said he tells a lot of tall tales. And I said, well, that's why we're here, you know, like, or not why we're here. You know, I said, I thought he was just bullshitting me when, you know, he said he lived in the same building. So then it hit me as I'm sitting there talking to Robert Lynn Asprin, what he wrote, you know, where it all begins, it came to me like I had this epiphany, and I said, oh my God, I get it. This is where it all started. The maze. This is where you got the inspiration for the maze. And he just smiled real big, and he put his hands up. He goes, you're the first person to put that together. And I said, well, I mean, you know, the hint that you wrote in the book was kind of a big, you know, tip-off, but that's super awesome. So if you're into fantasy novels and you happen to read the Thieves World series, that's where Robert Lynn Asprin drew the inspiration for parts of the maze, the little maze in the book, in the city of Sanctuary. But the coolest part of that evening was he asked if I wanted to shoot pool. Now, I'm not much of a pool player, but my parents were. They were both pool sharks, and I'm not even kidding you. They were really good players. So I said, sure, I'd love to play pool with you. Now, mind you, I'm like, at the time, I don't know, 26 maybe, super slim, good shape, and I had a long sleeve black velvet shirt on, button down,
silver chain. I got long hair, and my hair was pitch black back then before all the gray. Hair down to my shoulders, and I got a little goatee. I didn't have any of this other side stuff. And I, super dark eyebrows, and I'm leaning on my pool cue on one side of the pool table, and he looks across the pool table at me and he says, "I just can't get over this feeling." He's like, "Playing pool with you, I feel like I'm playing pool with the devil for my soul right now." And I thought, fucking A, man, that's like the coolest thing anybody's ever said to me. And this is a celeb. This is like somebody famous.
That is pretty fucking cool to hear.
Yeah, and I would have killed for a picture of that, to get a picture of with us in that bar playing pool. So that's a story, that'll go with me to my all the way to my grave, because it was a fantastic evening. And the most mind-blowing thing about that was, by the time we had finished drinking and were ready to go for breakfast, we walked out of the bar and I almost shit a brick, because it was the next morning. It was literally, sun was coming up and I'm looking up, and all I could say, because I was so drunk, was, "It's the next morning. Oh my fucking God, it's the next morning." And like, he was laughing. He goes, "Yeah, that happens a lot down here." And that was probably one of the most memorable evenings, despite me being super, super pissed. 3 sheets to the wind, drunk. There's so much about that I remember and fondly. I had a chance to meet his former wife and partner, well-known, world-renowned author Lynn Abbey. Met her at Gen Con when she was releasing the Thieves World role-playing game through Green Ronin Publishing. And they did a panel, Q&A panel, and I stuck around after and chatted with her a little bit, and I got to share that story with her, and she just smiled. Because Robert Lynn Asprin passed a couple years ago. It's been a while now. It's been a while back. And I shared that story with her, and she said, "That's so classic, Bob. Sounds like so much like him." So that was kind of neat.
That is a pretty cool story.
Thank you.
I've heard that more times than I can count now, but still.
Is that a hint? Like, okay.
No, it's a cool story.
Take your meds, old man. It's fun. It was a fun evening. It really was. Someday I'd like to take you down there. Maybe your mom and I can take you down there. I think you would really dig it.
Sounds like it.
Typically, what I've observed, this is not like based on scientific data or empirical data, but
You shouldn't be observing it then.
No, this is not the time for that. But
look, we've got scientists in the chat. We can't be talking about like non-peer-reviewed things.
See, even Parash says his kids have heard his stories numerous times, and even Michelle has.
Check these out.
I come from a long history of Spaniards that are storytellers, so it's kind of hard to break that mold. What am I looking at here?
Oh yeah, just take a look at them.
I'm gonna get shit for like licking my brush. I know it.
Nah.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Kit bashed that one. So he's sitting.
Yeah. So you remember I was telling you about
cool.
the Space Marine Scouts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those both have scout legs.
Okay.
And it's like a perfect fit. Like it fits right in there.
Oh, I see what you did. If it fits, he sits.
Yeah, that's
If he
totally
fits,
what I
he
was going
fits.
for. Yeah.
The question is, okay, if they're scouts, are they goblin size? Can you paint them up like goblins?
No, not goblin-sized scouts.
For anybody who missed that episode, a couple episodes back, we talked about going to Cave in the Mounds and we had this brilliant idea for how to turn that into streamable content, and we thought we can rent the cave, do a private rental, and then sneak in some foam weapons, bribe a couple of the docents to like turn their backs for a little while we roll the cameras, and then we could get Chris to bring in the Cub Scout troops, the Boy Scouts or Cub Scout troops, because like all those scouts probably have to earn their cave explorer badge or something, or their little spelunker.
Just a second. Oh, actually, you can finish. You can finish. I'll tell you this later.
And we could paint them up in green like goblins, and then like
Beat the shit out of them.
Clobber. Well, come on now, we can't. That's abuse.
Yeah,
we can't say that. And then have fun with them with foam weapons, and it simultaneously prove the impossibility of doing close combat inside of a cavernous system like Cave of the Mountains. So, and then just we'd have to bring a little bit of reality to D&D. So this is what it's like trying to fight with a sword inside of a cavern.
Yep.
And then we get bum rushed by like a whole pack of scouts dressed in green like goblins.
Yeah.
And then they earn their badge. They earn their Cave Explorer
yeah.
badge. It's all good.
So, Paraj, as to what you said about some like partial tankers and commanders sticking out of the tank, I have no clue how well this. Let me turn off the chat so that I can see on my phone. No clue how well this is gonna show up on my camera, but I've got these guys. So I've got a gunner, I've got a commander, and I've got another commander down there on the tank.
You got that commissar too.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about like in the tank.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like sticking out of it.
Is he not going to ride in the tank?
This guy? The one on the base?
The commissar with the cape?
No. That's just a separate mini.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought he came with that kit.
Oh, he did. He came with the kit, but he's not going on the tank. I'm just using it as a mini.
Got it.
Free mini. Alright, let me get started on this now.
Yeah, and I hate to sound like a scratched record, I'm looking at Praj's comment. Nice, I couldn't see them before. We were really torn on whether or not to get like a close-up camera or try to figure out a way, but I think we're hitting our limit of USB inputs on this deck that we're using to stream.
Yeah,
it's a pretty high-powered deck. It's got a lot of horsepower. Like it's got a really good Intel chip in there, and it's got a really good NVIDIA graphics card, and lots of RAM. But the problem is what they call USB bandwidth issues, where there are too many things hooked up to the USB ports. Right now, I've got the cameras. We have 3 cameras. One here, one at Deacon's side of the workbench, and then one on the game table. And those are plugged directly into the USB, is it A or B? I can't remember, ports on the laptop. And then I've got a USB-C cord where I have a hub plugged into, and in that hub we run all the peripherals like the Stream Deck by Elgato, the wireless mouse dongle, and the microphone. So trying to fit another camera would just almost be a disaster. But it would be cool,
It would be cool.
Maybe I can play around with the Elgato Stream Deck and figure out how to do some PTZ on that, pan, tilt, zoom, set up some hotkeys for that stuff. And that way, if you really wanted to zoom in on a mini you're working on, you could do that. So for those of you out in chat, what are you all working on tonight? What's on your workbench?
Yeah, Chris, I saw that you said you were working on some stuff. If you're still in the chat, what are you working on? Get any more progress on those Legion characters?
I'm just looking back at Praj's comment. He says, "Reality in D&D." Yeah, that's kind of the joke. Praj is like, the point really wouldn't be to bring reality to it, but just the ridiculousness of doing that stream. I think it'd be hilarious. Get in there and clobber the shit out of each other with foam weapons.
That would be pretty fun.
Speaking of, like, you know, scratch records and repeating things, I
Oh, are you
love...
gonna tell the story about going to New Orleans and meeting Robert Lynn Aspirin again?
No, did I ever tell you that story?
Here we go.
I love these gavos. I love these sculpts. There's so much character in them. These are definitely going to go up on IG once I'm done with them. Take some photos and post them up on the gram.
I'm trying to kind of carve out this pair of arms here because it's a bit too tight of a fit. They won't really go on the torso. That sounds cool. Get a bigger workbench in there.
Nice. It's always nice to have room. Just realized I don't even have my light turned on here on my headset. Charged it up and didn't even pop it on. Well, that's cool. Does she do a lot of sewing, Praj?
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Cranking out some cosplay stuff for the family, huh? Some of these are so easy because they're wearing boots or they're wearing pants. So really all I have to do...
That's a good idea. So some masks at home, that way you don't have to buy them.
Nice.
That's cool.
I haven't spent a lot of time online this week. I got other stuff I'm kind of focusing on, but I haven't noticed if Alex has been on Mr. Whiskas. I haven't checked his stream in almost a week now. Got to tune in. It'd be fun to raid his channel. Whoa.
Yeah, I know how that feels. It is super fun being able to afford stuff.
And such a relief from my wallet.
Yeah.
You should talk about your trip. You went to Milwaukee last weekend.
Yeah, hold on. Nuts.
I catch you at a bad time?
Yeah, these arms do not want to go on this torso. I suppose it makes sense, because, like, they're not supposed to, but doesn't mean it's not annoying.
I feel you.
Might have to pin them, but that seems like way more trouble than it's worth.
That's what I had to do with the horns on that hobgoblin last week. I imagine the glue probably would have fused the polymer really nicely, but they just seemed delicate, you know. Here we go. Okay, there is one thing I'm observing about this primer that has me a little concerned.
What's that?
The base feels a little sticky. You didn't get that with any of the Army Painter stuff, did you, that you were using? The primer?
The turret, the gun on the turret feels a bit sticky, but I re-base coated the entire thing pretty much. I painted the whole tank in a different shade of green.
Over the primer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that it was the same shade because it looks like it's the same shade, but when it dries a bit darker. It's like, look at this.
Yeah.
But when it dries, oh, shit.
Were you alright?
Yeah.
Did you break it?
No. I'm more worried about the tank than I am myself.
That's what I mean. Like, did you break the tank?
No.
That's good.
Yeah. Jeez. Don't want to do that again. But,
There.
yeah, I painted since that dries darker, I didn't realize that, and I was like, shit, now I just have to cover it up because I don't have this Army Painter Army Green.
So Deacon's like Mr. Moneybags now. Now he's got his job.
I
He
was
gets
Mr. Moneybags, and then I bought a Baneblade. So
I think you're probably doing better than you're letting on, but it's all good. I'm happy for you in that, like, you get to go out and explore and do shit now with your
and then
friends.
I went to Milwaukee, so that took even more out of it.
Yeah, but it was totally worth it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm like broke now though, so
Yeah, you'll get another paycheck.
Yep.
You're gonna be starting school soon, aren't you?
Yeah, I am this month.
You'll be doing virtual classes.
Yeah.
Show up on Dr. D's roster, maybe.
Nope.
I know, I'm just teasing.
Nope, not taking psych until I think next semester. I have to take one.
You have to,
What am I
you have to
taking
do the
first
math?
yeah, I have to take math and a like social studies type class. Or
Yeah.
not social studies, psychology type class. I am taking whatever their basic like English 1 is, and then I'm taking art history ancient to medieval. So I actually just picked up my textbook for that. It's Gardner's Art Through the Ages. So pretty excited for that one.
It's cool. One of my coworkers has a master's in fine arts.
That's cool. Don't cheat as well.
Not a master's.
Like just something in fine arts.
Yeah, bachelor's. might have thinned this a little too much.
Oh man, never doing that arm combination again. Holy shit.
But you got it though, right?
Yeah. Oh, it was just a pain. Such a pain. I saved somewhere in here. I saved a really cool I saved a really cool head just for this guy. Do I know who's teaching English, or does Chris know who's teaching English? Because I'm sure I could just look on my schedule and figure out who my teacher is. But at the time, I don't know it off the top of my head.
See, that's the thing, is you got to get the names, shoot them over to Chris, and he can give you the lowdown.
Yeah.
He can give you the scoop, the poop.
Or he could just talk to the teachers, put in a good word.
Does anybody know, is Victor still there? Victor Jason, Victor Raymond Victor Jason, Jesus Christ, I screwed his whole name up.
Oh my god. Pretty sure. And if this is not what I'm hearing, Mom, I'm so sorry, but I'm
He
pretty
retired,
sure
okay.
I could hear Mom snoring through the floor.
Oh, dude, that would be like amazing. And you're on a live stream saying,
Oh, yeah.
I can hear my mom snoring through the floor.
Oh, that's why I apologize first.
That is premium quality content, folks. You won't find that on any other channel, I guarantee. You'll also probably hear about the fallout next week on next week's stream, so stay tuned.
Well, it was nice being able to stream. It was nice. It was nice having a phone, having anything.
Meanwhile, in Canada, a small forest is being hacked to the ground.
Damn. And I thought what I said was bad.
Oh, your mom knows.
How could
I say
you?
that shit to her all the time. I'm like, damn, you were clearing some evergreens last night. I think half of Canada is like laid to waste by now.
Okay, so it is not the person that you mentioned, Paraj. I checked my schedule, and my instructor is... Oh, God, I'm going to butcher their name. Teresa Malchalia? I
How do
probably...
you spell it?
Fuck, dude, I just closed the tab. I gotta... You're asking me to go and sign in and do all that again?
Well, I just thought you might remember it. I'm not asking you to go sign in.
Alright, view my classes. It's, M-O-U-C-H-A-Y-L-E. L-E-H.
M-O-U-C-H-A-Y?
M-O-U-C-H-A-Y-L-E-H.
Pass.
Yeah. It's a hard last name.
It's a fascinating one too. I'd be curious to know the origins
Oh,
of
he's
it.
trying his hand at authorship. That's kind of cool. Do you know what he's writing? Yeah, I hope I have a good time too.
Yeah, I follow Victor on Facebook. But I guess somewhere in all my drama, I must have missed that he was retired from there. Y'all know me and Facebook.
Man, I think I fucked up.
Uh-oh.
I think I left one of my glue things slightly open.
What?
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I don't think I like one of the. I was using this one of the other nights, and I think I might have left it like this
Okay.
instead of like that. You know, it's like just barely open.
And you think it dried out?
Yeah, because they're both feeling kind of dry, and I literally just opened this like 2 days ago.
Huh.
So it's really weird. So here is my next. Here's my next dude. Give me a second.
Yeah, hold on.
He didn't make an announcement, but he just stopped posting about grading all the time. I would hate to be posting about grading all the time. That seems so annoying. Just having to, like, deal with that. Never be a teacher. Could not do that.
Now you're speaking Chris's language. I see what you mean about the little hairs that got stuck on here.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go after those right now. Alright, what is this one you want to look at?
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of what I was talking about, Chris, is just having to deal with grades all the time. Posting about them or not, just having to deal with them seems annoying.
Without giving away too much, sometime when you have a chance to chat with Chris, he's got some great stories to share about that. Dude looks like he's straight up like going rage on a PS4 controller or something.
Yeah, that's what I say every time I see one of these hands, because it's got the little touchpad in the center.
Yeah.
But check this out.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's
Yeah.
going to be such a cool addition
I've
to
got
that.
that guy, and then there's a guy for the other side as well.
That's going to be such a cool.
Oh, that's why I got the infantry. I saw that, and the picture of all the guys in the back of the Stormlord. That's what actually pretty much just inspired me to get the Baneblade at all. I was like, I want that.
Man, I got that in one go.
I want that, but cooler.
Alright, who's next? I can totally understand that, Praj.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's hilarious. So I've got enough.
Yeah, okay, here. They're all starting to do that thing where they get kind of like jelly rather than liquid.
I hope mine doesn't, because I barely use this.
Well, no, I'm saying I
And
think like...
we got them at the same time. Remember when we got that last batch?
Yeah, but I'm saying I've just opened this one. One of these I opened like the day that we got it. So it makes sense that it's starting to go because I've used it a ton. But the
Yeah.
other one I literally opened, I'm not even kidding, 2 nights ago. Yeah, see, that seems fun, like getting them excited to learn. My problem would be like, how do you do that though? Because I guess it seems like half the kids that were in my classes were just playing games the entire time. They're looking at their phones, they're doing whatever. And it seems like hard to get them excited to learn when they're all like doing that.
You meet them at their level. You find a way to deliver the content so that they sit up and pay attention and engage. You can gamify stuff.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work because everybody learns differently. Some people are visual learners, some people need instructions, to follow because they don't get, some people need to be hands-on. Some people are like, show me how to do it, and then I can jump in and do it myself. And I think that's kind of what I'm going to be responsible for doing. I can't say too much about it, but I don't want to, I don't want to get in any kind of trouble. So no trade secrets, obviously, or anything like that. But effectively, like assessing how people learn and then improving those courses so that when you deliver the content, everybody feels like they're being addressed because there are different tools in there for learning. That sounds like something I would have done, Paraj. That's funny. Writing weird and funny story problems. Yeah, see what Chris is saying?
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't Professor Spee's bitchin' Camaro? Oh, you missed an opportunity there. Dead milkman. I got a bitchin' Camaro. And hopefully, I won't get a DMCA for the mere mention of those words. That was you weren't really into the Dead Milkman, were you?
No. Yeah, 1990. Makes sense that you probably weren't allowed to use it in class. Alright, here. I want your opinion on this. You ready?
You talking to me?
Yep.
You talking to me?
So this guy, check this out. Dude's gonna be sitting on this side of the tank, okay? Kind of like over here.
Okay.
Should I have him holding flag, kind of like that? It is glue dotted on, so if you drop it, don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, that or
Show me what it would be, where he would be sitting.
kind of like there.
Okay.
Maybe around there.
Okay.
So, flag or gun?
Boy, I don't know. That's a really cool pose with that gun, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I like the idea of the flag because of all the other little embellishments you put in there.
Yeah.
It sort of to me would speak to the whole feel of what you have going on there. I do believe I ran out of paint.
Wow. What color is
It's
that?
it's drying up on the edges. No, I don't mean ran out of the bottle, but I mean
Oh.
it's
Oh, in your palette.
in my palette. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
drying up around the
right,
edges,
okay.
and so I gotta when I try to dip into the center here.
Okay. I will settle in the middle. I'll use the flag on this one, and I'll find another spot for that rifle because it is a really cool arm. I'll have to figure out how to get this fucking glue dot off of here.
Oh, this is straight up naked ass cheeks goblin. This is hilarious. He's got like a leather apron. It's too bad they weren't chaps. That'd be hilarious.
And I will be taking pictures of all of the crew and of the Baneblade itself as well, and throwing those up on the Instagram as well. Said as well far too many times in that sentence. But yeah, pictures of the Baneblade and its crew will be going up on Instagram, so make sure you follow us there at was it Black Dragon Tavern Online?
Yep. Instagram.com/Black Dragon Tavern Online.
I wouldn't include the slash in there for Instagram. I'll just say Instagram at Black Dragon Tavern.
Yeah, I forgot they have the @ thing now.
Yeah. Well, nobody really uses the Instagram desktop. It's almost all on the app. Like 90% of the users are using the app. And you can't do the URL on the app. So I'd just say like Instagram at Black Dragon Tavern. Simulated customer questions. What kind of customers do you have, or like what kind of questions do they ask? Still not really sure what Brewmega does, so trying to figure out like
Let's hold off on mentioning any names.
I am still confused on what the company does.
There's actually a great video about that.
Not watching videos.
I don't think you could. I think it's for new employees.
Yeah. Good, because I wouldn't watch it anyways.
I have to be careful. I don't want any conflict of interest. I don't want any perceived, issues. So that's why I wasn't saying the name of anything.
Oops.
Weakest link. I'm sure it's fine.
Now, how the fuck am I gonna do this? 4,000 products launched. That is a lot of products.
Oh, there's this one little part I can't get in here. Got it.
Yeah, okay. With 4,000 products, I could see how you get like a lot of customer calls about that. I can already tell that painting these guys is going to be a pain in the ass.
How so?
Because they're not glued to any bases. They're not going on bases because, I've got guys here that are like sitting on the side of the tank.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not going to put a base on them. The guys at the guns aren't going to have bases.
So what you do, because these spots will be concealed, you stick a little needle under their bum, and then you stick that in a toothpick or not a toothpick,
cork. That's
cork,
even like
or,
more exposed than I was thinking. I was thinking like drill through the bottom of the foot, like near the heel into the leg, and then you can pin that into cork.
Seems like more work than.
I mean, it seems like about the same amount as
No, not really, because you could go like this. I'll show you in just a second. I've got an idea.
Yeah, sticky tack them to a popsicle stick. See, I would do that, but I'm not sure how long they would stay up there. Because
they'll stay. They'll stay up, like.
Yeah.
While you paint them and dry them, because it depends on if you're drying them overnight or if you just want to. See, what I was thinking, what I was gonna say was, you just take a pin, stick it in the plastic, snip the other side off, and then pop that down in some cork.
Oh, I see.
And then you don't have to drill anything. But the blue tack, and then of course you have the problem of, like, if you're using like blue tack or sticky tack or whatever, wherever that adheres to, that won't get painted. You have to brush that by hand.
Yeah.
Is this ear? Oh yeah, this is ear. This is ear.
How fuck am I gonna do this?
I dig your style, dude. There's just one thing. Do you have to curse so much? What the fuck you talking about, man?
Alright. See you in a bit, Praj.
Take care, Praj.
Oh,
Thanks for stopping in.
Good luck in the basement.
That one's done. Is this effectively a squig?
Oh, it is a squig. It's just not called one.
Yeah.
Because of copyright issues.
So what?
Did you see the newest official squig model?
No. What
Dude,
color
it's
should I do
fucking
this?
red. It's fucking hilarious. Their newest squig model.
Shit! I could have spray painted this. I
Yeah.
got that red.
Their newest model is an IV squig. It's a squig that's being used as a drip bag.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It is. It's pretty fucking funny to look at. It's on the new Pain Boy. I think that's what it's called. Squig IV bag. Oh god, I can't type right now.
Time to break out.
Oh, that is terrifying.
I don't get any kickbacks from this company, but if you're on the stream and you're tuning in now and then, I highly recommend, hopefully you can see that, it's called the Masters Brush Cleaner. This stuff is fantastic. It's like a real gentle soap and conditioner in one, and it'll really help keep your brushes from getting wrecked.
Yeah. Check it out.
Hang on. Oh my god. That is... Wow. See, to me, that would be a fun job to be a designer for...
Yeah. Well,
and to
have
be
you
able-
have you seen the newest, like, I don't know if you'd call them leaks or whatnot, but have you seen the newest, like, leaked things from GW?
No.
Well, it's not really leaked from GW, it's leaked about GW. Apparently their staff gets paid shit.
Well... You know, I mean, not surprised.
No, I'm not either. It's just kind of like, oh, that sucks. Like, their lead game developers who work on the core rulebook get, I think it was $20,000 a year.
That's nothing. That's like below poverty
Yeah.
wages. You know, and I don't know if that's here in the U.S. or that's the U.K., right?
It's UK, Nottingham.
Okay. So this guy, hobgoblins, if I'm not mistaken, have like an orangey, yellowish, tan thing going on with their skin.
Sure.
He's got hair on it too. Where the heck did all that come from? It's crazy because
That's a
there
good
was
question, man.
nothing out there when I was spray painting.
Cat hair, probably.
No, in the garage.
Dude, it was probably on your hands. That shit gets everywhere. You know how it is, man. Like, you pet the cat once, and now your entire body is covered in cat hair. You know?
Yeah, this is just weird though. Like, I don't know. I don't think I've had this problem with other models out there.
Alright, looks like I've got my arms for this guy chosen. Just trying to find a pair of arms that I could use for, like, the gunner, for the other gunner, without using more of those PS4 controller arms. And it was tough.
What's really funny is, his legs. He's got the legs.
Wow, holy shit.
The legs
Sorry,
of a.
10:30.
Is it?
Yeah, we've gone a bit over.
The legs of a satyr for a hobgoblin.
Yeah, I noticed that when I first looked at it. And I was gonna point that out, and then I spaced it.
Well, what do you want to do? I mean,
I
we
could
could
keep
keep
going.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. Let's go till at least 11. Let's see, maybe see how we feel.
Yeah, maybe Paraj will be back on by then.
So one thing I want to do here real quick. My battery's gonna go.
Oh, you should be charging it like I am.
Do you have a cord over there?
I don't know if it's gonna reach.
Yeah.
Plus, it'd be reaching like right across my lap the whole time.
Which one do you have? The long red one?
Yeah, I do.
My red one. Mine.
What?
I said my red one. Mine.
Oh, it's yours?
Mine. Yeah.
That's funny. You don't seem to be using it right now.
Let's see. What do I want to do here?
Looking up some hobgoblins for inspiration.
Yeah.
Smart.
Shut that off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, definitely remember to shut your light off when you're looking towards the camera because it like completely blinds it out.
Oh yeah. See those new ones? I don't like the color. I don't like the way they have those. They're like a bluish gray.
Hmm?
Like that. Like I don't like.
Oh yeah, like that. No.
No, I kind of like.
There was one down a ways that I saw.
Yeah, I was working my way down there.
Like that one. Up.
This one?
Up.
This?
No, up.
This?
And to the right. Yeah. Up. No, up one from that. Like that.
Yeah, that orangey. But not like,
No, not
Trump orange. Okay, so I think I've got some ideas.
perfect.
Charging your twig and berries. It's pretty much. I might have to just put that on. That sucks because I won't be able to monitor the chat from here.
Oh, I can see.
I'm gonna throw this on the phone on the charger for a little while.
On the phone. Throwing it
Throw this
on the
charger.
phone.
Throw the phone on the charger.
You grab that last cherry one?
That's the one I brought down for myself. Should just bring a whole 12-pack down here.
Yeah, I meant to do that before the stream, but I completely spaced it out.
I love that I can indulge in these and there's like no calories in them and no bad stuff.
No caffeine.
No nothing.
That's a big one.
But they still taste, good. I need to clean that off.
Alright, now what head do I use for this guy? So many choices. Oh, I found a whole bunch of these types of things that I'm going to put on once I'm all done with it. Dropping it. Whole bunch of these.
It's funny because every time you do that, here's what it looks like. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, and you go, a whole bunch of these.
Oh.
And I can't see behind the lamp because you're obscuring it. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shit, I dropped it.
Yeah, that's another one of those things where, like, a close-up camera would be really cool. Okay, that's ready. So I think what I want to do is a base color.
For the squig? Or the hot?
Is maybe this elven flesh, and then do a dark wash over that, and then some highlights for the hobgoblin. Question is this going to be mixed up enough?
The answer is probably not.
Okay, I guess we'll see.
And if not, you can always shake it a bit more. It's not going to completely...
I
burn.
agitated the goblin green earlier when you were at work. Threw it on the shaker, just so I wouldn't have to deal with it so much tonight on the camera. Because
Yeah.
that'd be really loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, and you don't want to shake it by hand for that long either, because then it's just annoying.
But it would be real. It would be authentic. It would be like... I'm just kidding. It'd be really real. The real.
I love these glue dots so much. Using them to stick these guys down on the tank just temporarily.
Yeah.
Get a feel like where they're gonna go. Yeah, that is so cool. Take a minute when you can and check this out. Actually, hold on. Before you do that, I'm gonna take some pictures for myself because this is awesome.
If you do that, throw them up on.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take better pictures for the Instagram. I just want to get some of these like right now.
Yeah.
Two gunners, the guy sitting
Yeah.
on the bench, there's a dude over there.
Yeah.
Dude, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Pretty soon you won't have any place to hold it by.
Yeah.
You have like stuff sticking all over the place on it.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty gnarly. So one part of this hand, the sculpt here, where the casting is a little rough. What's going on in the chat over there?
Not a whole lot. No new messages.
I think maybe what I might try tonight when we sign out is I might try running those credits and see if it does anything. Do you have the stream pulled up?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could monitor it and see.
Yeah, new message. Awesome. That is so cool.
What's that?
He says, so here's one, a new message.
I only ask because I've got my phone on the charger and I can't really see what's going on on the
I
stream.
don't care about the stream.
I love the stream. I love our viewers. I really do.
Chris says he wishes he was here to work with us.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
Do a little like paint night type thing.
I could handle that.
Yeah.
Everybody here has been vaccinated. And, although we did have a little bit of a scare here. We're on self-imposed quarantine in the household because we were notified that we were in the company of somebody last Sunday who was exposed to somebody with COVID. We had somebody here like interviewing for housekeeping services. We were all masked up and we spent no longer than like 20-30 minutes tops interviewing this individual. And then that was on Sunday. Jennifer got the call on Wednesday that this individual had been exposed that previous Friday. So she had been exposed. She didn't know it when she came to see us on Sunday. She let us know on Wednesday, and then we went out. We got tested
Just
this morning, just to make sure everybody's good. It's not likely that anything will come of it, but better safe than sorry. Jump on that shit right away.
Totally.
Is that a yawn I heard?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you didn't get tired.
I don't.
It's just your brain oxygen deprived.
Yep. Yeah. You can see how that would be scary. He says, it's scary. We still have an unvaccinated person here, and given... God, I'm butchering that. It's scary. We still have an unvaccinated person here, and given anyone vaxxed or not can be carrying.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many factors that come into play with that. I'm trying not to worry about it too much. And it sucks to be the bearer, of bad news, and it sucks to be the potential plague bearer.
Of bad news.
I was out in a social situation where I had to notify several coworkers, of this potential exposure, and we really won't know anything till the results come back, but fingers crossed. Is that a jet I hear out there?
That would be the air conditioning. Or some sun.
That's bizarre. I don't know why it threw me. Swear I thought it was one of the jets flying overhead.
Oop.
Yeah, this feels weird, like not being able to look at my phone and see what's going on the stream and the chat. I don't like it. I don't like it.
So what I was saying earlier, quite a bit earlier, about not liking this kit because the arms don't really line up. Hold on. All right, good night, Chris. Have a good night.
Thanks for stopping in, Chris. We appreciate the support.
Yeah.
And for
see
anybody
you,
else who might be lurking out there, we appreciate you watching. We're running a little over tonight. We're kind of not in a rush to shut the stream off, but if you're out there lurking, welcome. Welcome to the Black Dragon Tavern. I'm Dante.
Deacon.
And you can check us out on Instagram at Black Dragon Tavern Online.
We will be posting pictures of what we're working on right now.
You can check us out on Twitter at tavern_black. And you can catch any of the VODs on Twitch. You can catch us on YouTube. We got a link on our Twitch About page that links over to YouTube because the URL is a whole bunch of nasty, too hard to rattle off numbers and letters. I'd love to have a vanity URL for the channel.
Sometime.
Yeah, gotta get 100 followers. Subscribers. It's all the same.
No, not really.
Well, you say tomato, I say tomato. Sounds like maybe we're gonna have to run back out this weekend and pick up some glue, eh?
Yeah, your turn to buy?
For myself? Sure.
I have to mow the lawn this weekend as well.
Oh, there you go. You could earn some money there.
Yeah. Well, that's cool looking. Color on there.
Yeah, this is one of those paints where, like...
It's not really what it looks like on the...
No, it's a little more orangey in the bottle, and that's fine, but it's going to take another coat. I thinned some of it down because I didn't want to have it be, like, super streaky. But, getting mixed results with that. This might actually be one of the first Army Painter paints that I've not been entirely enamored with in terms of how it lays itself on the...
Yeah, that's how I feel about all of them.
Yeah, I know, and I don't have that. Like, that Goblin Green is fantastic.
Almost all of them. I do really love some of the Army Painter ones. Well, I guess specifically their grays. Their grays are really good. Like,
Which is...
Necromancer Cloak, Dungeon Gray, Stone Gray, all of those, love them.
To me, it's not a surprise because the pigments for the darker paints like that seem like they give better coverage. But you go in, like, Yellow is always a problem, it seems like.
Well, I've never used the Army Painter yellows, actually. So, I have no clue how good or bad those are. I think I've finally cracked the code on how to get these guys' arms lined up properly.
How's that?
You have to put their guns on a really weird angle.
Huh.
Like, look at the stock on there if you have a second. And you see how the stock is, like, bent?
Yeah, that's not right.
No, it's not, but look at this. If you put it on where the stock is where it would normally be, it's like this. The rifle's here,
Yeah.
and their hand is, like, out here
Yeah.
in front of it, and it doesn't line up. So it's real weird. That's, I think, the one thing I dislike the most about this kit.
I guess if it counts for anything, it's like figuring that out early and being able to work around it is a bonus. You know, like
Figuring it out early. I have made, like, 30 of these guys, and this is the first one I got right. I wouldn't really call that, like, figuring it out early.
Okay, I was trying to give you some credit there.
No, I don't want your compliments. I don't want your advice, your suggestions.
Okay.
Yeah, that is so fucking cool.
Was there more to that statement, or?
No. That's it.
Okay then.
There's another guy added on the side there. Kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
firing off the side.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you said you
No,
didn't
I
want my
know.
compliments, so.
Alright. Where is that really cool knife arm? Time to hack it up. Let me make sure I can find this piece first before I go chopping up other things. That's probably a smart idea. Have I ever told you about the Imperial Infantryman's uplifting primer?
No, but I'm not sure if I want your stories or anecdotes.
So, it is... I'm going to tell you anyways.
Of course.
Yep. Ooh, I'm totally gluing that on there when it's done. I just found a pile of shells. So I'm, like, totally going to put this next to one of these guns. Anyways, it is a lore thing. All of the Imperial Guard soldiers get one, and it's, like, part of their basic equipment. You know, they get their armor, they get their lasgun and their supplies, their rations. And they get a copy of the Imperial Infantryman's Uplifting Primer, which is like a kind of like an all-around source book on what to do if you're ever in a situation in a fight and you don't know what to do.
Sure.
But it's all really bad advice. Like, if an orc is charging straight at you, make sure to kill it before it kills you. Like,
well, okay, that's pretty good advice, but
Yeah.
I see what you're saying where it
it's
falls a little short on, like,
yeah.
you know, specifics.
Oh, there was one. They've posted the Warhammer community page has posted some stuff from it. There's a lot of stuff like, if you are bleeding to death, make sure to bandage it so that you stop bleeding. Or like, if you're about to die, make sure that you at least die in a cool way. You know, like make sure you're like at least shooting something when you're dying, because otherwise that's kind of lame.
Sure. Or like if you or a loved one is suffering from mesothelioma,
Then
call
you
the
may
law offices of.
Yeah, because you may be entitled to financial compensation. Alright, how do you feel about ending it pretty soon? It is going on 11 now. It's 56.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
So let me I gotta grab my phone for that. Hang on one second.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
I barely got any charge out of that. That's all good. So thank you everybody who stuck around to watch the stream through this little last half hour or so that we've been running it. I made some pretty good progress on my stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you. Yeah. Again, be sure to check us out on the socials. Follow us, like us, watch us. We appreciate it. And tune in tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. where I'm not even really sure what we're streaming tomorrow. Normally we do fireside chat for the first hour of the chat, and then for the second we would do a game from the battle zone on the game table here. Maybe we'll wind up doing a video game or something tomorrow. I'll post about it when I put the event out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
In the meantime, thank you everybody for watching, and we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.